My name's Joella. Thanks for joining me for a nice yoga practice this morning. We're going to get started in just a moment. We'll flow through a nice practice, really focusing on our alignment and muscle engagement. So we're going to start seated today. So just find yourself a nice comfortable seated position. Legs can be crossed or extended. However, you can just take a moment to focus on your breath. And before we get started, I just want to remind you, make sure you're listening to your body. You can feel free to take any modifications that you'd like. I will cue for some while we flow through our practice. And then, of course, if you have any underlying health conditions, please make sure that you check with your doctor before starting a new exercise program. So, like I said, go ahead and just find a comfortable seat. You can sit up on a block or a towel or a yoga blanket if you have one available at home. But you can just let your hands relax wherever they reach. And just gently close your eyes if that feels right for you. If you prefer not to close your eyes, you can just let your gaze be soft on the floor a few feet in front of you. And just take a moment here to stop and bring our awareness to our breath. Go ahead, take a nice deep inhale through your nose and sigh it out your mouth. Again, inhale, sigh it out. Last one, inhale, and sigh it out. Beginning to breathe just in and out of our nose now. Really feeling your lungs expand as you inhale. And as you exhale, trying to get all of the air out of your lungs. Inhale, sitting up nice and tall, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Exhale, release. And inhale. And exhale. Beginning our equal breathing, breathing in through your nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, out, 5, 4, 3, 2, in, 5, 4, 3, 2, out, 5, 4, 3, 2, in, 5, 4, 3, 2, out, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, 5, 4, 3, 2. Out, 5, 4, 3, 2. Continuing this breath on your own. We're going to try our best to flow with this breath. So each movement will take the same time as our breath. And if at any point we're holding a posture and you're finding you're unable to find this breath, it might be a good indicator that you need to back off a little bit. So one more breath before we start moving. On your next inhale, gently opening your eyes, reaching your arms up overhead. And exhale, bringing them back down by your side. 2 more like this. Inhale. And exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Bringing your right hand to the floor, left hand reaches up and over. Exhale, soft bend over to your right. Finding length here through your spine, so not just rounding down and to the right. Lengthening on your inhale, softening a little bit on your exhale, making sure both sits bones are staying in contact with the floor so we didn't let our left hip pop up. You can look up under that left arm if that feels good in your neck. One more breath here. Inhale, back up through center. Exhale, hand back down to the floor. Inhale, right hand up overhead. Exhale, side bend to the left, left hand on the floor. Thinking of your bottom left rib cage moving forward slightly so that you're not rounding over, but it's really a stretch through your side body here. Again, right sits bone is still in contact with the floor. Lengthen a little on your inhale and soften on your exhale. Creating space in your body, looking up under that right arm if it doesn't cause any discomfort in your neck. Inhale, back up through center. And exhale, right hand down to the floor. Inhale, arms out like a T. Exhale, right arm over left. Crossing your arms, bringing your palms together for eagle arms. If this is too much on your shoulders, you can just give yourself a little hug here with your right arm on top. Chin gently tucks toward your chest, elbows lift up to shoulder height, arms right between your eyeballs so they're not out to one side or the other. Breathing here, sitting up nice and tall through your spine. One more breath here. Exhale here, inhale, arms out to a T. Other side, left arm on top, right underneath, crossing at your arms or at your wrist, bringing your palms together, or just giving yourself a gentle hug here. Elbows in line with your shoulders, gently tucking your chin so you feel a nice stretch along the back of your neck, along the back of your shoulders. Inhale, arms out to a T. Exhale, arms down to your side. Coming down to all fours. So wrists right underneath of your shoulders, wrist creases parallel or slightly turned out to the front edge of your mat. Knees right underneath of your hips, tops of your feet, pressing down into the floor. Inhale and exhale here. Inhale, belly button drops, collarbone runs, tailbone lifts up towards the sky for cow pose. Exhale, pressing into your hands, outer upper arms wrapping in, belly button to spine, tailbone lengthening down towards the backs of your knees. Inhale, back into cow pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more time. Inhale, cow. Again, making length through your spine. Exhale, cat, really rounding your back, feeling that stretch through your back body. Inhale back to a neutral spine. We're going to inhale our right arm up towards the sky, taking a little twist here. Exhale, threading that right arm under our left, bringing your right temple down to the floor, your right shoulder down to the floor. Hips stay right over top of your knees, so they're not going back like in child's pose. You can walk your left hand out in front of you towards the top of your mat if that feels right for you. And breathe here. One more breath. On your exhale, walking your left hand back underneath of your left shoulder, pressing into your hand, lifting your right arm back up towards the sky, sitting it back down underneath your right shoulder, other side. Left hand inhales up towards the sky. Exhale, thread it under that right hand, bringing your left temple, left shoulder down towards the floor, walking that right hand out towards the top of your mat. Hips still right over top of your knees, tops of your feet still pressing down into the floor. Breathing here. One more breath. Walking your right hand back down underneath of your right shoulder. Inhale, left arm reaches up to the sky. Exhale, unwind. Go ahead, tuck your toes under here for a moment. Really press into your hands. Again, double checking that your wrist creases are parallel or slightly turned out to the front edge of your mat. Press down through the balls of your feet and lift your knees up off the floor, about an inch. Breathing here. Another Another cameo by my cat. One more breath. Keeping our neutral spine here. Exhale, bringing your knees back down to the floor, uncurling your toes. Lifting your right leg up to hip height, toes and knees pointing down towards the floor, outer hips hugging in. Left arm extends. Palm facing towards the midline like you were reaching out to shake somebody's hand. Outer upper arm wrapping in. Spine is still neutral, so when we lifted up our leg and our arm, we didn't let our belly drop. Inhale here. Exhale, touch your elbow to your knee, rounding your back, just like you did in your cat pose, pressing your right hand down into the floor. Inhale, extend. 2 more times. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Last time, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, left arm down, right leg down. And inhale your left leg up to hip height, toes and knees pointing down towards the floor. So your leg's nice and straight, lifting that quad up into your thigh bone, hugging your outer hip in. Inhale your right arm out and up, right to shoulder height, palm facing towards the midline. Keeping your belly engaged so we're not letting it drop down towards the floor. Neutral spine here. Oops. Inhale here, exhale, elbow to knee, rounding your back. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. One more time. Exhale, elbow to knee. Keeping your left hip in line with your right. Inhale, extend. Exhale, right hand, left knee to the floor. Walking your hands out just slightly. Stepping your right foot back and your left, coming into plank pose. Shoulders right over top of wrist, outer upper arms wrapping in, pressing down a little more into the thumb and first finger of your hand, pressing down into the balls of your feet, lengthening your tailbone down towards your knees, pressing the balls of your feet down. One more breath. Hinge forward slightly so your shoulders come over your fingertips, and bending your elbows, bringing you down to the floor, chaturanga, all the way down to your belly. So take a peek, make sure your hands are still shoulder distance apart, and walk them back so your wrists are right underneath your elbows. Exhale here, inhale, chest, shoulders lift for baby cobra. So just little here, low ribs are still staying on the floor. And exhale, lower back down. 2 more times. Inhale, chest, shoulders lift, pressing your feet down into the floor, lifting up on your quads, inner thighs lifting up towards the sky, tailbone lengthening back. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. Curling our toes under, balls of your feet pressing down to the floor. Still lifting up on your quads. Think of lifting from your inner thighs up towards the sky as you lengthen your tailbone, your buttocks flush down towards your heels. Exhale here, you can do that baby cobra again, or inhale, press into your hands, come up into upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana on the balls of your feet. So a little modification here to help us get our thighs up. Outer upper arms wrapping in. Your sternum reaching forward through your arms. Finding space in your vertebrae here, through your spine. Thinking of pulling your front hip points up towards your low ribs. One more breath. Lifting from your inner thighs, coming up and back, downward facing dog. Pressing through your hands as you wrap your triceps in towards your face, broadening through your collarbone a little bit here so that your shoulder blades move forward towards your rib cage. Feet are parallel to each other, hips distance apart, bending your knees so that you can really lengthen up through your tailbone and your sits bones towards where the wall and ceiling meet behind you. One more breath here. At the bottom of your exhale, go ahead, walk your hands back towards your feet. So you're in a forward fold at the back of your mat. Weight comes a little more forward into the balls of your feet so that your outer hip is still over top of your ankle. And inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. 2 more times, moving with your breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Last time, inhale. Exhale, fold. Standing all the way up, inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Taking a moment here in mountain pose to sort of regroup. Again, feet, hips, distance apart and parallel to each other. So if you drew a line from your center or second toe to the back of your heel, those 2 lines would be parallel to each other, and then the outer edge of your mat. Lengthening your tailbone down, pressing your quads back into your thigh bones, lifting up slightly on your kneecaps. Thinking of your front hip points, lifting towards your low ribs. Hands can be down by your side. Shoulders gently relaxing away from your ears. Take a breath here. Inhaling, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana, arms nice and straight, outer upper arms wrapping in. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands walk forward to plank pose. Chaturanga, wrapping your outer upper arms in. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog, pressing into your hands, lifting on your thighs. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. At the bottom of your exhale, looking towards your hands, walk, step, or float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Right away, inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, walk, step, or float your feet back, Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up to the sky, downward dog, pausing for 2 breaths. Pressing through your hands, lifting up from your forearms, reaching your hips up and back. At the bottom of your exhale, looking towards your hands, walk, step, or float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, right away, hips sink back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Breathing here. Neutral spine, nice and long, creating space there. Maybe thinking of your front hip points lifting up slightly from your thigh bones. We have a tendency to kind of stick our bum out, but we want it neutral here. Maybe lowering your hips a little bit more, pressing into your feet. And exhale, forward fold. Go ahead, step your left foot back to the back of your mat. We're going to heel toe our front foot to our midline, spinning your back heel down. Think of lengthening your tailbone towards your back heel here as you open up that left arm, coming right into side angle pulls. So we have space here on both sides of our torso. So it's not about how far down we can reach, but making sure that our spine is long. So lifting your low ribs away from that hip point as you open your right inner knee out to the side. So it's not coming forward over your toe, but it's right over your ankle. This bottom hand can be to the inside or outside of that leg, or you can bend your elbow to your knee. Looking up at that top hand, you can extend it up overhead. Nice long line from your fingertips down to the back edge of your left foot. Wrapping that back left thigh in, so your leg's nice and straight. One more breath. Inhale your left hand back up to the sky. Extend your right hand down to the inside of your right foot. Press down through the ball of your right toe as you begin to straighten that right leg, coming into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So wrapping your outer right hip down and under. Again, maintaining that length through your spine. Pressing down into all 4 corners of each foot. Lifting up on your left quad. Looking up at that left hand if that feels okay in your neck. One more breath here. Exhale, looking down towards your right hand. Inhale up, warrior two. One more breath here. Exhale, hands come down to either side of that right foot. Stepping back, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward dog, and pause. Another breath here. The bottom of your exhale, looking towards your hands, walk, step, or float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Utkatasana, chair pose. So feet are hips distance apart. There's space between your knees like you had a block there. So you're hugging your outer hips in, your inner thighs together, lifting your front hip points away from your thigh bone. One more breath here. And exhale, forward fold. This time stepping our right foot back towards the back of the mat, heel toeing your left foot over to the midline, spinning your right heel down. Now before we open up this time, think of pressing down your outer right foot and lifting this right thigh up. Tailbone is lengthening down towards that back heel. Lengthening this glute cheek under. Open your right hand towards the sky. So you can bring that left elbow up to your knee or have your arm extended. But again, maintaining length through your spine here. So your spine is nice and long. Pressing down through the heel of that front foot. Bringing your left inner knee over to the left. You can look up at that top hand. Maybe extend it forward. So you have a nice long line from your fingertips down to your outer right foot. One more breath here. Bringing that right hand back up towards the sky, pressing down through the big toe mound of your left foot, beginning to straighten that left leg. Lifting up on that quad, pressing your calf forward into your shin, and maintaining length here, lifting your low left ribs away from that front hip point, wrapping that left glute cheek under. Maybe looking up at that top hand. One more breath. Exhale here, and inhale, warrior two. Just for a breath. Exhale, hands down to either side of that right foot, or excuse me, left. Stepping your left foot back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, hips up and back, downward dog. Breathing here. Lifting your right leg up and back, three-legged dog, right to hip height, toes and knees pointing down, outer hips hugging in. One more breath here. Right hip in line with your left, outer upper arms wrapping in. Exhale, bringing your right foot into the inside of your right thumb. We're going to, you can bring that back knee down to the floor if you'd like, but we're going to place our left hand right underneath of our left shoulder. Hips really hugging in here, pressing that left thigh up into that thigh bone so that back leg's nice and long. Exhale here, inhale, twisting to the right. Right hand reaches up towards the sky. Moving our inner right knee over towards the right so that it's staying right over top of our ankle and not caving in. Still lifting up on that back thigh so our left leg's nice and straight, reaching back through our left heel, hips hugging in. You can look up at that top hand. And exhale, unwind, stepping it back, downward facing dog. One more breath here. Lifting your left leg up and back to three-legged dog, toes and knees pointing down, hips hugging in. So our left hip is still in line with our right knee. We didn't let it pop up. So we're still long and even through both sides of our torso. Exhale, bringing your knee towards your nose, stepping your left foot down on the inside of your left thumb. So sitting up here, option to bring that right knee down towards the floor. But if it's raised, really pressing that right thigh up into that thigh bone, lengthening back through that right heel. Right hand comes down to the inside of our left foot, right underneath of our shoulder. Hips hugging in here so that we don't let our hips jet out to the side. Exhale here, inhale, left hand towards the sky. Maybe looking up at that left hand, really straight through that back leg, pressing up into that quad. Breathing here. One more breath. Exhale, unwind. Stepping your left foot back, plank pose. Lifting from your inner thighs up and back, downward facing dog. Breathing here. One more breath. Hinge forward, plank pose. Shoulders over wrists, always an option to bring your knees down. Lifting your front hip points towards your low ribs so that your hips are parallel to the floor and not hiked up. We're going to lift our right leg about an inch off the floor without letting our hips go anywhere. Breathing here. Extending back through that right heel. And exhale, lower it down. Inhale, lifting your left leg up about an inch off the floor. Extending back through that left heel. And lower it down. Coming into Vashisthasana, side plank. We're going to roll to the outer edge of our right foot, inner edge of our left foot, and lift your left hand up towards the sky. Lifting your hips up, keeping your left hip right on top of your right, so you're not letting it twist backwards, like you're making a rainbow with your body. You can stack that left leg on top of your right. Always an option to have that bottom knee, your right knee down towards the floor. One more breath, pressing down through your hand, lifting up through your armpit and that top arm. Exhale, plank pose. Pausing here for a breath. Other side, pressing down through your left hand, coming to the outer edge of your left foot, inner edge of your right. Right hand up towards the sky. Hips stacked right on top of each other. Pressing down through that left hand, lifting through your left armpit. Right foot can stack on top of the left. Always an option to have that left knee down to the floor. Breathing here. One more breath. Exhale, nice and slowly unwind. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Pressing down through your thumb and your first finger. Outer upper arms wrapping in, triceps wrapping in. Shoulder blades floating away from your ears. Little bend in your knees, lifting your hips up and back. The bottom of your exhale, looking towards your hands. Walk, step, or float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up. Chair pose. One more breath here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, stepping back, plank or floating, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. One more breath here. Stepping your right foot forward to the inside of your right thumb. We're on railroad tracks here, so feet hips distance apart. Hugging your outer hips in, thinking of pulling your thighs together or in towards the midline. Inhale, arms forward and up, high lunge. Little bend in that back knee so you can lengthen your tailbone down. Arms nice and straight. Breathing here, pressing a little more into the big toe mound of that front foot so that your knee is tracking right over top of that second toe. Inhale, both legs straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Exhale, hands down to either side of that right foot, stepping it back, downward facing dog. At the bottom of your next exhale, left foot steps up to the inside of your left hand. Again, setting up here for a high lunge. So feet are on railroad tracks, outer hips hugging in. That right thigh pressing up into that right thigh bone. Left knee right over top of left ankle. Press down through the big toe out of that front foot. Inhale, coming up to high lunge, Anjaneyasana. Little bend in that back knee so you can lengthen your tailbone down. Breathing here. Inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. And breathe. One more breath here. Exhale, hands down to either side of that left foot. Step it back, downward facing dog. The bottom of your exhale towards your hands, walk, step, or float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up. Utkatasana, chair pose. So again, pressing down to all four corners of your feet, lifting up on your front hip points so that your spine's neutral. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale here, and exhale, twisting to the right, and then setting your elbow down wherever it lands. So finding length from the crown of your head towards your tailbone. Breathing here. One more breath. Inhale, unwind. And right away, exhale, twisting to the left. Lengthening forward, setting your right elbow down wherever it lands. Two more breaths here. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, stepping or hopping back, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Right away, right foot steps forward. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward, high lunge. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pausing here and breathe. Maybe taking a little child's pose. Lifting your hips up and back, finding space between your spine, your vertebrae. Inhaling your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Right to hip height, toes and knees pointing down towards the floor. Hips hugging in. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee over to your right tricep. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee crosses your midline, comes over towards your left tricep. Inhale, extend. And exhale, stepping it through. Heel toeing your right foot over to the midline. Spinning your back heel down. Inhale up, warrior two. So right foot in line with the midsection of your back foot. Front knee right over top of your ankle. Arms out to a T. Shoulders are over top of your hips, so we're not leaning forward or back, lifting that front hip point away from that front thigh. Pressing down to the outer edge of your left foot, lifting your back left thigh up. Exhale, reaching your right fingers towards the right wall, coming into side angle. You can just bring that top hand right up from your shoulder, so not overhead this time. Lengthening your tailbone down towards that back knee, or excuse me, back ankle. One more breath here. Exhale, look down towards your right foot. Extend that right hand down. We're gonna go into half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Our hand's gonna land about a foot forward of our pinky toe and out to the right slightly. So press down into this right foot. Let's bring our top hand to our hip while we make the transition. So pressing down to our right foot, lift up on that quad, hand reaches forward, left leg comes right up to hip height. So finding length through both sides of our torso, toes and knees of our left leg pointing over to the side wall. Really wrapping under that right hip. So still squeezing in that glute medius, that outer right hip. You can extend your left leg towards the ceiling, or arms towards the ceiling, excuse me. One more breath here. Stepping back with your left leg, coming right into warrior two. Pausing here for a breath. Windmilling your hands down to either side of that right foot. Step it back, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Lifting your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Right up to hip height, hugging your outer hips in, toes and knees pointed down, outer arms wrapping in. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to left tricep. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to right tricep. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Sitting it down to the inside of your left foot. Heel toeing, left thumb, excuse me. Heel toeing your left foot to the midline, spinning your right heel down. So you're lined up heel to arch here, pressing down to the outer edge of that right foot, lifting up on that right quad. Inhale up, warrior two. So again, shoulders are square to the side of the room and right over top of your hips, so not leaning forward. Arms can come out to a T right in line with your shoulders. Pressing down through the outer edge of that back foot, lifting up through that quad. Lifting your front left hip point away from that thigh bone, but keeping that front knee bent right over top of your ankle. Breathing here. One more breath. Coming into Parsvakonasana, reaching your left hand forward, bringing your elbow down to your left leg, right hand reaches up toward the sky, lengthening your tailbone down towards your back ankle. Breathing here, pressing down to the heel of that front foot, still lifting up on that back quad. All right, coming into Ardha Chandrasana. Let's bring the right hand to our right hip, gazing down towards our left toes. You're going to extend your hand forward so that it's looking to land about a foot out from your pinky toe. We're going to press down through this left foot as we lift up on this left quad, left glute cheek wrapping under, bringing that back leg right up to hip height, toes and knees pointing towards the side wall. Finding length through our spine, crown of our head reaching forward, tailbone reaching back. Pressing down through all four corners of that supporting leg. Maybe reaching that right hand towards the sky. One more breath here. Beginning to bend that front leg Reaching your right leg back, warrior two. Pausing here for a breath. Exhale, hands down to either side of that left leg, stepping it back, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Gently bring your knees down to the floor, about mat's width distance, hips down towards your heels, coming into child's pose. Reconnecting to your breath here. Exhale here. Inhale. Gently walk your hands back up so you're in a seated position. And then bring your legs around to one side and forward. Coming into Dandasana. So legs extended right out from your hips. Maybe a little bend in your knees, but sitting up nice and tall. So bend your knees as much as you need to so that you can lengthen your tailbone down and back so that your hips aren't rounding under here. Sitting up nice and tall. One more breath here. And then gently hinging forward from your hip bones. So we want not to just round our back, but our hips, our pelvis, actually tilting forward. Hands can just come down wherever they land. So you might only come forward a few inches. We want to maintain the length in our spine. One more breath here. Hi, Artemis. Sitting up nice and tall. And then exhale, allowing yourself to round over. Hi. You lay down? Lay down. One more breath here. Go ahead, inhale, sit up nice and tall. We'll do Baddha Konasana next. So just bringing the soles of your feet together. They can be as close or as far apart to your inner thighs as feels comfortable for you. Knees just gently open. Again, sitting up nice and tall, so finding length through your spine. One more breath here. And exhale, again, hinging forward from your pelvis. Finding your fold. You can gently use your elbows to press your knees down a little further. Finding length all the way from your tailbone towards the crown of your head. Inhale here. And exhale, rounding over. Everybody's visiting me today. Inhale, sit up. Let's come on down to our backs. So just gently roll back, making sure you have room behind you on your mat. Coming into bridge pose. So feet, hips distance apart, feet parallel to each other, pressing down into the floor. Go ahead and clasp that outer edges of your mat and think of wrapping your triceps in. Exhale, pressing down into your feet. Inhale, lifting your hips up. So pressing down into your feet, lengthening your tailbone down. Knees are hips distance apart, so we didn't let them fall out to the side. Lifting your back, low ribs away from your sacrum. Pressing your shoulder blades gently forward into your ribs as you broaden through your collarbone, but maintaining space between your chin and your chest, leaving your airway open. Breathing here. One more breath, using your arms as leverage, so pressing down into the outer edges of your arms. And exhale, lowering your hips back down towards the floor. We'll do that again. You can release your hands from the mat. So feet hips distance apart. Pressing down into your feet. Inhale, lifting your hips up. Again, lengthening your tailbone down. So we're not letting our hips droop here, but lifting them up. Front hip points lifting towards your low ribs. As you make space here between your sacrum and your low back ribs. Broadening through your collarbone, pressing your arms down into the floor. Maybe clasping your hands and walking your shoulders under. Pressing down into your feet and breathing here. Unclasping your hands, exhale, bring your hips back towards the floor. We're going to do that one more time. Pressing down into your feet, inhale, hips lift. Clasping your hands, walking your outer upper arms in. You can stay right here, or this time we're going to extend our right leg towards the ceiling, trying to keep your hips even, still pressing down into that left foot. One more breath, and bringing your right foot back down, pressing down into your right foot, lifting your left leg up towards the ceiling. Breathing here. Exhale, left foot comes down, unclasping your hands, walking your shoulder blades out, bringing your knees down to the floor. Bring your knees up to hip height, ankles in line with your knees, so you're making like a little tabletop with your knees. Arms can come out to a T or goalpost if you don't have room. And gently allow your knees to fall over to the left hand side, stacking your hips on top of each other, maybe bringing your hips over to the right a little further. Just taking a twist here. And breathe. One more breath. Exhale here, inhale your knees back up through center, adjusting your hips over to the left, feet at tabletop, and exhale, gently bring them over, your knees over to the right, stacking your hips on top of each other, finding a twist here. One more breath. Inhaling your knees back up through center. And then hugging your knees into your chest. Gently rocking from side to side in Apanasana. Reaching out for the outer edges of your feet, keeping your sacrum down on the floor, ankles right above your knees for happy baby pose. You can gently rock from side to side. And when you're ready, making your way into Shavasana, final relaxation pose. So you can have your knees bent here if that feels better on your low back. Or you can extend your legs down in front of you, just taking up space on your mat. Finding a position where you can just let your body relax and focus on clearing your mind. So bring your breathing just to natural. Allow your body to feel heavy. And we'll stay here for a few moments. You can stay here as long as you'd like, but when you're ready, you can bring your awareness back to your breath, just wiggling your fingers and your toes, hugging your knees into your chest. Rolling over to your right side. And just taking your time, come up to a comfortable seated position. We'll take a few breaths together before we complete our practice, just like we did at the beginning of our practice. Nice deep inhale, arms reach up overhead. And exhale, releasing your hands down to your side. Again, inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Namaste. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed your practice. Have a great day.